It is Wednesday night. It's March 29th, 2023. Brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast. It's WrestleMania week. It's the biggest week in pro wrestling. But we're not here to talk only WrestleMania. We're here to mainly talk tonight's AEW Dynamite, which I thought was a fantastic show. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host Paul Zartman, who's wearing the KOP Predictions title over his shoulder for the last time for quite a while. And Austin Shepard is back this week after enjoying sunny. Were you in Vegas or Arizona? I don't remember. Vegas?
Well, I was in Arizona earlier, then I was in Vegas, and Vegas was not sunny.
No.
It was anything but sunny. And if I look like I have a tan, it's because it's called windburn. It was windy, cold, and rainy in Vegas. I was luckily, I'm a bigger fellow. And the second day of the golf tournament, I walked into the golf pro shop, and they had a double XL raincoat. And I'm like, it's a sign. I got to buy it.
Yep.
Because it rained for 17 out of the 18 holes that day, and I had to wear a sock cap and a raincoat in flipping Vegas.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, and my pro was a little rough that day because we had Class Azul the night before. It was a long, long day.
Just blame it on Dax.
Oh, man. In fact, tonight I'm not drinking tequila because of Vegas was a little – I got a little tequila out on Vegas. So go ahead, Paul. Ask me.
What are we drinking tonight, Shep?
Tonight we got a little 10-cup whiskey. And is one of my favorites. And the reason I bought this back in the day – this is a second bottle or so, is my favorite golf movie of all time. It's 10 Cup. I mean, what a romantic love story, right?
Give him another bowl.
So I bought it, I don't know. Ooh, I like the little sound. I bought it a couple of years ago, and I drank a bottle, and then it's out of Denver, Colorado. It's pretty good. It's 84 proof. But we'll get a little pour. But no, I'll take a break for a week or two of tequila. Damn it, Dax.
Dax showed off his tequila collection on an Instagram Live this afternoon. Quite the impressive collection of tequila.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's not a bourbon; it's a whiskey, which I'm not versed enough drinking to tell me. I'm sure there's a bunch of chirpers out there that'll tell us the difference between a whiskey and a bourbon. I know bourbon's aged, blah, 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 blah. It's brown booze, okay?
Exactly.
But it's really smooth, and it's good, and it reminds me of a golf. So there we go. Perfect. We're having a little 10-cup whiskey. When that's done, we're going back to the boss. We got some back. So
all reliable.
That's what we're drinking this week.
See, Paul, you just need to get the new "What Are We Drinking" shirt, KOP shirts. You just have to point at it every week. You don't even have to ask; just point at the shirt.
I am ordering one of those here this week.
My order goes out tomorrow, so we'll see which ones I get.
I'm working on an order too, so I guess all three of us might have different swag, but it's all good. It's all good. Well, before we get into the Dynamite, I have a little trivia for you guys. Well, first I want to know what
Friday.
Yeah, you're right. It's Wednesday. I want to know what year you guys started watching pro wrestling. This is going to help with my trivia a little bit here.
Man, I would have to say 1987, 88. I was 5, 6 years old.
Okay. Paul?
That's just my age, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, it'll make you feel better. I was about the same age, but mine was 92, 93.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. This might take up to about 10 minutes of the show, but I think it's going to be fun. I want to do, since it's Mania week, I want to see how you guys can do with telling me what the main event match was for each Mania.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Manias, so I'm not going to be very good at this.
I would thank God for VHS tapes at the tape because we did not have pay-per-view at the old household.
Well, let's start off... Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say it was Action Video on Main Street in Manchester that helped me really dive into my knowledge of pro wrestling.
Action Video on Main Street in Manchester. You're correct. What was the one, Paul, across the river on the way out of town towards Fort Wayne, the little place on the right. Was that Clark's tape?
Clark's video.
Clark's video. Yeah.
Clark's video.
Clark's video had a great WWF VHS collection.
Yeah, I never knew whether I wanted to go see Eric or the Clarks because you had your choice.
Yeah. Clark's was my go-to back in the day.
Mine was Video Stop before it was Blockbuster. So Video Stop, where Dollar General now is in Rochester.
Why don't you just tell us you're still 29 years old, Tanner?
I'm 31. Thank you very much. But I would usually get the WCW on VHS though instead of WWF. I'd go back and forth, but I was more of a WCW guy.
Well, and I was young back then. I don't think the two places in Manchester carried WCW stuff, did they?
Eric started eventually.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, Eric started closer, probably closer to the end of the Monday Night War, so he really started getting WCW stuff.
Well, I moved.
It's probably cheaper then.
Yes.
I moved from Manchester to Rochester in 96, 95, 96.
Okay.
So
yeah, right before he really started diving into WCW, because that's when WCW really started blowing up.
Yeah.
All right, well, Shep, since you started watching around close enough to 85, I'm going to start there for you. And Paul, you're going to join in just for the heck of it. So we're going all the way back. WrestleMania 1. What was the main event of WrestleMania 1, boys?
Had to be Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful.
You got it. You got it. Muhammad Ali and Pat Patterson were the guest referees. There was two of them. Yeah. All right. WrestleMania 2 from Rosemont.
Now, wait a minute.
Actually, WrestleMania 2 had 3 different locations.
It had 3 different locations. One of them was King Kong Bundy and Hogan, right?
That was the main event. Even though it was 3 different locations, that was the main event. It was in steel cage match. Steel cage match.
The blue cage. The blue metal bar.
Yeah, oh God. Nassau Coliseum, Rosemont Horizon, and the LA Memorial Sports Arena were the 3 venues for that. Okay. All right. WrestleMania 3, Paul. I'll let you take this one.
Paul, you can have this one.
You should get this one.
That was Hogan and Andre.
Yes.
Silverdome.
From Silverdome.
Silverdome, yep.
Remember WrestleMania 30 in the Superdome when Hogan said Silverdome.
Yes.
WrestleMania 4. This was Atlantic City, New Jersey. Actually, 4 and 5 were both from Atlantic City. So what was 4?
Were these the ones that are really, really bad? Or was the one in Vegas that was really poor? The Yoga?
Vegas.
Yoga. Okay. Ugh. These are the ones. One of them was Hogan and Macho Man, wasn't it?
That was 5. Yep, for the title.
Was 4 Hogan and Warrior when they both were title holders?
Nope. 4 was Savage and DiBiase in a tournament for the vacant title.
Okay.
And then WrestleMania 6 in Toronto at Skydome. What was that one?
Ooh, 6 and what year would that have been?
6 was, let me see here, that was 1990.
1990. Oh, man. I'm old.
I was 3.
Thanks.
I was -2.
So I was the old.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one.
You just said it was Warrior versus Hogan for all the titles.
Okay, all right.
Which the Warrior won because Hogan was kind of on his way out, and at the time.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't know much Mania history. I will be the first to admit that. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna make this real interesting for both of you. Tanner, you're going to keep asking who is the main event.
Okay.
If Shep can get at least 90% correct, I will vacate the title and you two will battle it out Friday night.
Ooh.
At SuperCard.
I like this.
Wait a minute. All the way up till the modern day?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You can do it. You're doing good so far.
So what, we're on the 91?
Yeah, we are 91, which is WrestleMania 7 from the LA Memorial Sports Arena. This was an interesting storyline.
WrestleMania 8 was at the Hoosier Dome, correct?
Yes.
And that was I'm gonna skip 7 right now because I remember 8 was Macho Man and Ric Flair.
Yep, because they screwed it up. They put Hogan against Sid Justice at the time. It should have been Hogan and Flair. That's what everybody wanted. They screwed it up.
They had Macho and Flair. Okay, that was 8. 7. Oh man. Oh. Had to be. Man. Shoot.
No clues, Tanner.
No clues, Tanner.
I'm not saying nothing. It's just good storyline. That's all I'll say.
It was a good storyline. Oh man. It had to be Hogan and Macho. Mega Power.
You got Hogan right. Hogan and Slaughter. They turned Slaughter heel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we're on to WrestleMania 9 from Paradise, Nevada, Caesar's Palace. This Mania sucked eggs.
One. That was wasn't it was it the Giant Gonzalez versus Hogan? No, Hogan came back. Hogan came back at that one. God, I remember. I got nothing.
That was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. After the match, Hogan then has a match with Yokozuna and took the title off of him. Hogan had the black eye going. It was just stupid.
Yeah, but wasn't that the debut of the Giant Gonzalez? That was just awful.
He was against The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Then we're at WrestleMania 10, New York City, Madison Square Garden. So this was 94.
Ooh. 94. Good Lord. This was towards the end of the what would you call it? Not the PG era, but the
what did they call it? New Generation era.
Yeah.
I believe it was called.
Oh man, I'm trying to think here. Man, I got nothing.
It was a rematch. It was Yokozuna against Bret Hart, but Roddy Piper was special guest referee. Yeah, I don't remember that one very well. WrestleMania 11, Hartford, Connecticut. This was 1995.
1995, Hartford, Connecticut. This was back in the days when they started the in your house stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
God, this was the one. This was the one with Lawrence Taylor in it, wasn't it?
You are correct. Who did he face?
Oh God, wasn't it Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow?
You got it.
Okay.
Good poll. Good poll.
Yeah. Okay.
Pat Patterson was a special guest referee, but we'll chalk it up. All right, so now we're at WrestleMania 12 from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. It was 96.
96. This one is.
You should know this one.
This one's Iron Man match. Michaels and Hart.
Yep, boyhood dream came true.
Yep.
Then we're at WrestleMania 13 in Rosemont. This was 1997.
All right, let me see. Rosemont. So let's see. You got one of these points. Undertaker is a freaking main event. I don't know if it's this one or the following. I'm gonna go Taker in the main event.
Got it. Who'd he face?
I knew you were gonna ask that. That doesn't count. That doesn't count for good.
You're close.
Oh,
You're halfway there.
This is a long shot. Was it Sid Vicious?
It is.
Okay.
He shit his pants in this match.
That's right. Okay. All right. That one. Paul, I got lucky on that one. Okay.
Yes, you
now,
did.
now we're getting the era. I think Paul can start getting some of these right.
Okay.
Even though I think Paul's looking at the list.
No, I'm bowing out. I'm looking at work.
This was 23 years ago today.
Yeah, this is easy. This is Stone Cold Michaels with the Tyson.
Yep.
deal. Yeah.
Austin era begun.
Yep.
So then we're at WrestleMania 15 in Philadelphia. This was 1999.
1999. After that would have been Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yep.
Yeah. That's because didn't they? I remember. I don't know if you guys read JR's book, but
I did. Yeah.
Didn't they request JR to come back and call that match?
Yep.
I remember JR talking about how nervous he was.
Yep.
After his
Bell's palsy. Yeah.
Bell's palsy and everything. And I remember reading his book. I was on an airplane somewhere. I guess that's the only time I read, obviously.
I mean, you on an airplane's pretty common these days, so.
Long story, Paul. Long story. I'm not flying for a long time. But I just remember reading that. Like that's almost like how he opened his book up, talking about getting ready to go through the curtain and to call this match. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And then WrestleMania 2000, in the year 2000. Still weird that they didn't call it 16.
Well, remember the whole 2000 thing, everything with the computers.
I2K, yeah.
Was, everybody thought.
Yeah. Y2J.
This main event sucked, but what was the main event in WrestleMania 2000?
This was a stupid one with the Triple H.
He was one of them.
Yeah, it was Triple H and Stephanie.
Yep.
God, who did they? Flip. The Rock was involved.
Yeah, he's another.
Mick Foley was involved.
He's another. Got one more. You got one more.
It was either Vince or Shane.
Well, it was a McMahon in every corner. So each McMahon was represented by somebody. So you're missing a wrestler.
So in 2000, if it wasn't Big Show?
Yep. Because Stone Cold and Undertaker both were both hurt this time at this Mania. So.
Yeah, I figured that was before the whole Stone Cold and McMahon feud. So right. I figured that was a little too early.
They really screwed it up. It should have been Triple H and The Rock. Because Mick Foley had already retired, and then they literally brought him out of retirement after a month. And they just threw Big Show in there. It was awful. It was awful. WrestleMania 17, arguably the best WrestleMania of all time, the Astrodome.
Yeah, we had back to Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, My Way by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, that really shows my age.
That was the best video package for a pay-per-view of all time, though. I love that video package.
Back in the early 2000s with that, we called it alternative rock, right? The WWE was WWF at the time, was so good with.
Yeah, they were.
I think they had some Corn. They had Limp Bizkit. They had
Kid Rock.
They had I think they had some Green Day, which you would be a fan of, Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Rock. Like they did awesome production back in the day.
Yeah. WrestleMania 18 from Toronto.
Hogan and Rock.
No, should have been, but it was not the main event.
No, in the main event.
It should have been because it was right before the main event. It killed the main event.
Sorry, there you go, Paul. I gave you a little.
Yep. That was Jericho and Triple H for the undisputed title.
When Jericho won that, didn't he?
Jericho went in as champ, and Triple H beat him.
All right, there you go, Paul. You got one up on us. I got a little crazy there.
WrestleMania.
You've missed 3 so far.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. WrestleMania 19 from Safeco Field in Seattle.
I watched this one. I remember watching this one because wasn't this one of the first baseball stadiums they did?
It was the first one that they experimented with.
It was Angle and Lesnar.
Yep, Lesnar went for the shooting star press, damn near broke his neck.
Mhm.
It should have been remembered for one thing. It was remembered for another reason.
Yeah,
But
I remember watching that one live.
that was a good pay-per-view. That was a really good pay-per-view.
Remember they had the gimmick battle royal.
Yes.
They had the gimmick like Cornette was in it and all the Doink the Clown.
Yep.
It was thoroughly entertaining.
When Piper came back for Hogan against McMahon and Shawn Michaels and Y2J stole the show, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I started watching heavily again. WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Garden. So I remember this one like it was yesterday.
This was when this is Benoit Triple H. Now, was it a triple threat? I remember Benoit and Triple H. You're being quiet.
I can't give any hints because you got to like run the table. So I got to shut my mouth.
Yeah,
Man,
this is for you guys not to have to deal with me.
I swear there was a triple threat here. Man,
One of the best main events in Mania history, even though it's not talked about for.
And I could
Good
give
reasons.
you a clue here, but
you can, go ahead, Paul.
no, because it'll give
I'm
it
on the
away.
fence. I'm on the fence here. I'm gonna go against my judgment. It was a triple threat with Shawn Michaels.
He got it. Then they ran it back at Backlash the next month.
Okay,
That's what I was gonna. My clue was gonna be it'll break your heart and see if you caught on. But
Yeah, it was a hell of a main event. Hell of a show, really.
yeah. And I mean, obviously nowadays they don't celebrate that one very much because of
No.
no,
It's sad too with Eddie too. Because he had a good match against Angle that night. So
Yeah.
WrestleMania 21, Staples Center in Los Angeles.
This was the breaking out of Batista, wasn't it? Batista, Triple H.
Yep.
Flair got involved, or Flair was
Yep.
involved somehow. Was he the ref?
He just tried to interfere.
He wasn't the ref. Okay.
Great storyline there with the Batista evolution. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was kind of the kickoff for Batista.
Because Cena beat JBL that night, so it was. And really, Randy Orton gave Undertaker all he wanted to. So that was a heck of a Mania too.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 22 in Rosemont Allstate Arena. This was the last WrestleMania before they went completely stadiums.
Yep. And this was the breakout of Cena. Cena beat. God, I remember this one because I remember Cena. This is when he was. I thought he was an awful rapper, by the way.
Yeah, that's when he had that number one
But hey,
selling
you know
album.
what? The doctor of thugonomics was better than hustle, loyalty, and respect. Where we're gonna bleep out what's on his shirt.
Man,
Just saying.
he wouldn't have beat Batista because it's two faces. He would have beat Triple H.
Got it. Made him tap.
Okay, he made him tap. Okay,
Yeah, I made him tap. WrestleMania 23 from Detroit, Ford Field.
Okay,
This was the Donald Trump WrestleMania, by the way.
Yeah. I remember I watched these, so I would have been in. Luckily Rochester had Dish Network at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, RTC, if anybody RTC watches. We had Dish Network at that. I remember Dad always getting PO'd because he's like, "What's this $59?" Sorry, Dad, I'm not watching it all videos.
And Mania was like 70 or 80 because they would bump up the price more for Mania.
Yeah, I thought usually they were 39 or 49, but I always thought Mania was 60.
Okay, I knew they bumped it up for Mania, so maybe.
Yeah,
So, all right, where was this
they
one
just
again?
went $60 across the board.
WrestleMania 23 from Ford Field in Detroit.
Yeah, so we would have had Cena and Michaels.
Yep, you got it.
Yep.
It was supposed to be Cena and Triple H tore his quad, I think,
Was that when
or
No,
not the original quad. Maybe this was a different.
That wasn't when he tore both.
No.
Vince tore both quads.
Yeah, Vince tore both quads in the Rumble.
The Rumble.
But
that was Cena and Batista when they that whole mess.
Yep. This should have been main evented by Batista and Undertaker, and they were pissed, and they're like, let's go tear the house down, and that's what they did. So, WrestleMania 24 from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida.
Citrus Bowl. Was this one if I remember correctly, was this when they started getting completely crazy with the
sets?
Yeah. Because that was like, I mean, that's a big football arena.
Oh, that's the one that has the longest ramp. That's the one that's just stupid. It takes like 3 minutes to get to the damn ring.
So the first one, that would have been, I'm not saying this main event, but that would have been the didn't Floyd Mayweather and Big Show have that stupid, when Floyd came out in those stupid furry pants or furry shorts or whatever, and knocked out the Big Show, which he had to get a step ladder to get to him.
Yep. Which interesting, you're talking about the Big Show real quick. I just read this yesterday. The year before at 23, they wanted Hogan to come back and slam the Big Show in a match, but Big Show wouldn't agree to lose to Hogan, and Hogan wanted more money than they were offering. So they had Kane slam Khali instead.
But if that was the Big Show, that match, so your main event would have been Taker Edge.
You got it.
And it took Taker half an hour to get to the ring because the ramp was so long.
I think they all
Shep's got a good chance, I think, to run the table here, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting to the point where I was watching, and then towards the end is where I'm going to struggle, Paul.
This is WrestleMania 25, Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I know this one. I watched this one. This was Triple H and Randy Orton.
God-awful main event.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, and I don't know how you live up to Michaels and Undertaker that year. That was one of the best.
Wasn't that a Bosch finish though? Wasn't clean?
Yeah, it was just for the story. The story was great the whole time. I mean, you had Triple H breaking into Randy's house and everything, but the main event just wasn't good.
It's one of my favorite feuds with Triple H because it got so personal, and that was back when, the cameras would do what they're trying to do now and follow you to the house while you beat the crap out of each other.
And that started Orton's Viper. He was such a crazy heel. It was a really good run for him. I've always been a big Randy fan, so I really enjoyed that era. WrestleMania, where are we? 26, University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Yeah,
this one was an epic one. It was Taker and Michaels.
Streak against career. Yep.
Yeah, It was freaking awesome. Great match.
Then this one's when I got back in. I took a break for a couple of years. So I missed 23, 24, 25, and 26. I got back into wrestling right around WrestleMania 27. This was Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia Dome.
I enjoyed this main event.
You did?
What? Main event, the very ending I enjoyed, but the main event match sucked.
This was what the coming out party from the Miz, right?
Yep.
He beat Cena.
Yep.
Somebody was with the Miz though. He wasn't by himself.
The Rock interfered as a special guest.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then I think was it the following year when the Miz lost the title in the quickest? And it was one of the first shows when they had to split titles, right?
I know who you're thinking of, but it wasn't the Miz.
I thought it was the Miz that lost it in 11 seconds.
It wasn't the Miz.
No, wasn't the Miz.
Who was it?
Daniel Bryan.
Was it Daniel? Did Miz win that?
No,
Sheamus did.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
with the bro kick after he gave AJ Lee a kiss.
Yep. We are talking about WrestleMania 28 from Sun Life Stadium in Miami, by the way, Shep.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I always thought the Miz was the.
Nope, that was the AJ Lee storyline with who she was screwing that week.
All right.
Whether it was Kane or
yeah,
Bryan or Punk or Cena or Randy or whoever she could, put her arms around.
So where's our next? Our next one's Miami.
Yeah, we're in Miami right now, 28. Yep, that's the one we're needing.
Okay, so Miami's the one where The Rock came back. It was Rock and Cena.
You got it. Yep, because Punk faced Jericho and Undertaker. Triple H was Hell in a Cell. It was a really good Mania. Then Mania 29 was New York.
Right, and that was Rock and Cena.
Yep, and Rock hurt himself.
We haven't seen Rock since that one, right? Well, in the ring.
Correct, because he tore his pelvis right off the bone. He was supposed to set up a angle with Lesnar the next night for 30, but didn't happen. So
no.
WrestleMania 30, New Orleans.
New Orleans. That was the triple threat: Batista, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Triple H. No, Randy Orton.
Yeah, he corrected it. He beat Triple H earlier in the night. So.
Beat Triple H early in the night to get to the triple threat. Yeah.
Thank God WWE listened to the fans that year, because
that was the one. That was the one that Hogan came out and just screwed up.
Yep, called it the Silver Dome instead of Superdome, but that was cool with Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold that year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 31, Santa Clara, California, Levi's Stadium.
So this was the one where Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank, and he defeated. Did he pin Lesnar? Or he pinned Roman.
Well, you got it right because you just named both guys, but he pinned Roman.
I think he pinned Roman now.
He pinned Roman because Lesnar went for the F5 and Roman hit him with a spear, and then Seth hit Roman with the curb stomp.
Yeah. I remember. I watched that one. That was one of the ones where I think I didn't watch a lot of professional wrestling, but I always tuned into WrestleMania. I always have a tradition here in Rochester. I get me a new Biano's pizza, and I watch Mania on Sunday. And I remember I didn't watch a lot of Raw or SmackDown leading up to that, but I tuned into Mania, and I kind of knew who the guys were. And I knew Rollins was with the shield and the upper, And I remember watching it. I was truly shocked. Like, I bit into that hook, line, and sinker.
Well, I remember I was working with you at the time. I just started.
Yep.
And I just found out you were interested in pro wrestling, and I remember talking to you about that Mania. So that's
yeah.
A year and a half to figure out I was a wrestling fan, so he paid more attention to what you were doing than what I was doing. Had the IC title sitting on my desk the entire time. He'd looked at my desk numerous times, never registered until AEW was already in the talks.
Yeah, I'm a little oblivious at times.
A little.
Shut up, Paul. WrestleMania 32, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium.
So following that, we would have had Trips would have got back in the segment. So it would have been Reigns and Trips.
I hated that match. I thought it was trash.
Well, Trips was on his way out.
I thought that whole Mania was trash.
And I know it was before. I don't remember much of the Mania-ish.
Ambrose and Lesnar did not put on a very good match in a street fight.
No, he just suplexed his ass everywhere.
They had AJ Styles lose his first Mania match to Jericho.
That's the one. Remember, that's when the network came out.
Yeah.
And wasn't that the one where Jericho came back and just Vince, was it Jericho and Styles or Jericho and KO where Vince was just pissed?
That was the following year, the Jericho KO, because that was supposed to main event and it didn't.
Yeah,
and that was the one reason Jericho left. He was still pissed off about that.
Vince was just pissed when that one went.
Yeah.
So
that was 32. 33's back in Orlando, Camping World Stadium, which it got renamed from what it was the previous time.
So that would have then Romans would have went over Taker.
Yep, it should have been Taker's last match.
Yes.
That was also Goldberg against Lesnar, because that's what took place of what should have been Owens and Jericho.
So that would have been 2 years in a row. Taker lost at Mania, right?
Not 2 years in a row.
Well, wasn't the year before was when Lesnar? No,
the year before was Triple H Reigns.
Year before. Oh, it was New Orleans where Taker lost to Lesnar, right?
But he wasn't the main event. You're right.
Yeah.
Those were his 2 WrestleMania losses. You're right.
Yeah.
We are back in New Orleans for WrestleMania 34, Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
This would have been. Oh man.
Getting into the tricky ones now.
Yeah, no, I know this one. This would have been. I want to say Kofi, but it's a year too early. Man. I'm confused on that. I can't remember. Oh.
He's got to run the table, Paul.
90%. Am I over 90%, Paul, where I can miss one?
Yeah.
I think it's too. Oh, man. Is this one? Yeah, this is too early for Kofi. This is Lesnar Roman.
You got it. And Lesnar beat him. And everybody was shocked.
That was a guess.
Because that's the one Lesnar goes backstage and grill and threw the title at Vince.
Yeah. And Vince called him an asshole.
Yeah. Which I would never call Brock Lesnar an asshole. All right, now we're WrestleMania 35. This was the longest Mania ever. I fell asleep during the main event. It was the New Jersey one that shut down the subways.
It was like, Stadium. 17 and a half hours long.
It was long.
One day.
I still think I'm early on Kofi here. This was the first ever women's.
You are correct, but who was in it?
Was this is the one that Rousey didn't think she tapped or something like that, right? So it would have been the triple threat. It would have been Rousey and Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, Becky won, and there was kind of a botch finish with the tapping and the pin. But I remember.
I thought it was the shoulder or something.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was.
The shoulder was up.
Right. And Charlotte made a cool entrance from the helicopter, like her dad did years ago.
Yes.
Years before that. So, okay, now we are in. The worst WrestleMania ever. WrestleMania 36 from the Performance Center, but this started 2 nights, so you have 2 main events now in the next few that you have to guess right.
Dun, dun.
So, what was the night 1 main event of WrestleMania 36?
Oh.
He almost made it explicit.
Yeah.
While he's thinking, by the way, I love the fact that you said, this will take up about
38.
We're still not done yet.
We'll fly through the AEW tonight.
I remember the first big – that was the first cinematic match. Was it Taker and AJ at the Bone?
That was night 1. Oh,
man.
Taker's last match. It was awesome.
Okay, so that had to been
He's all excited.
McIntyre and Big Show.
Technically, yes, but that was shown on Raw. Drew beat somebody else before that.
Yeah, because isn't that when they called back? I remember he was on the Network 360 documentary. Didn't they call back? What the hell's his name? The big guy, fucking. Was with
there it is.
Oh, sorry. Braun Strowman? Braun, right?
Braun beat Goldberg because Reigns wasn't going to do it with his cancer stuff and COVID. So this is going to chalk up as a loss for you here, but it was Drew beat Lesnar.
Oh,
and then he beat Big Show.
Come on, I was a 50%er. I got the first night right with the boat. That was the first ever cinematic match, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
So then the following year was WrestleMania 37 with a part crowd. So you got night 1 and night 2.
Night 1 and night 2. God. All right. one of these nights, I know I'm out to. I remember watching it too. It was my boy Kofi. I enjoy that dude. And then one night we had. Man, I'm too early. So what year were they? All right, give me a little hint. What year would we be talking here?
This was 2021.
Yeah.
They had like 25,000 there in Raymond James, even though it holds a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
This was the one that rained, and Samoa Joe was in a poncho. It was hilarious because he was on commentary.
Yeah. So the first night we had a women's match.
Yes.
Bianca versus Sasha.
Got it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Sasha. Who's she?
New talent. Up and comer.
No, okay.
All right,
She started
night
over in
2.
New Japan, or is she currently in Japan?
She was a jobber on WrestleMania main event.
Night 2.
Night 2 would have been Night 2. We're coming out of the pandemic.
Thing is, I watched this and I don't remember that being the main event.
It was a good match, but yet it was kind of forgettable. If that makes sense, if you can be both.
So we're coming out of the pandemic,
Right.
The return right before the pandemic. The big return was Edge.
Yes.
Roman versus Edge. Roman, yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Well, what? Hold on, Tanner.
Yes.
We'll give him 10 seconds, Paul, because this is make or break for Friday night right here.
Well, there was that. They had a triple threat with Daniel, but that wasn't at Mania, was it? That was at. I swear that was at Survivor Series or SummerSlam. Oh man.
Do.
Well, obviously my answer is not correct with Edge versus Roman, so I'm throwing Daniel in there.
He got triple threat. All right.
I thought that was at SummerSlam or. Oh man, yeah.
Yes, I just threw a temper tantrum on camera.
Then last year, WrestleMania 38, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium, night 1, night 2. Got to get them both.
Well, the one night was dipshit part-timer versus part-timer.
Wow. That just, listed off like half the roster.
Well, I'm talking Roman and Lesnar was one night. I know that.
Yeah, that was the whole.
Because McAfee was involved. It was freaking KO and Stone Cold, and then McAfee got involved. My boy drinking beer after he got stunned, and then Austin Theory got involved, and Vince McMahon got involved. But McAfee looked like $1 million.
You got it. You did really well. You did really well.
I missed like 4, didn't I?
Paul, you're still in it. You're still in it Friday night.
Oh, I'll hold up my end of the bargain.
No, you're still in it. That's fine. I think.
Right.
Hey, I want to beat you fair and square.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
job, Shep. That was a lot better than I ever imagined anybody would do on that.
So when did my boy Kofi win?
That was in New York.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the main event.
He wasn't the main event.
Yeah, 35.
It was Mania, but it wasn't main event.
No, that wasn't a double main event. Yeah, they did the women's match was the main event that year.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So I was when the women main event, I was close with the Kofi thing.
You were. Yeah, that was Kofi Mania year. Yep.
So,
all right, after 44 minutes, let's get into nice Dynamite.
Let's do it.
This is going to split into 2 different audio podcasts, by the way. I'm just going to put that WrestleMania part as its own. So,
welcome to Kicking Out Podcast. I'm Paul Zarman, joined by Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard.
wait a minute, I got to start over again?
What are we drinking tonight? Oh,
No, we don't got. We're still rolling. We're still rolling. But tonight's Dynamite did not kick off with an Orange Cassidy match. It kicked off with a Jungle Boy Jack Perry match versus Matt Hardy, which it's got to be cool for Jack Perry. You know, he grew up watching the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian. Did that story with Christian, and now tonight he's going against Matt Hardy. That has to be pretty cool for him. But fun opener. Ethan Page, tried to get involved, but Hook came down to even the sides up, and he and Ethan Page started brawling. In the end, there was no doubt who was going to win this match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry won it with a flatliner and then the running elbow strike to the back of the head. But then we hear MJF's music hit. Comes out to pretty big pop. He and Jack really went back and forth on the mic. I thought this was Jack Perry's strongest night on the mic.
Yeah.
It was. He was good.
Marco stunted growth.
That was great.
We're still mentioning that guy on this podcast.
Although I did.
It's a different guy.
MJF said the word or said the name Dino Douche, which was it's a Jim Cornette. That's a Jim Cornette thing. He calls him.
Oh, MJF's a huge Cornette fan, and he's made that known.
Yeah. I thought that match was. I thought those two went pretty hard for the opening match.
Yeah. Matt Hardy still goes. I mean, even if his body doesn't want to, he still goes.
Yeah.
You can tell the way he gets up from the bottom.
Oh, God, his hips are gone.
And some of the ways he falls, like when they were exchanging punches on the edge of the ring, he just kind of like threw his legs out. He didn't even fall. He just threw his legs out.
Dude, his body's on the way out. But
by far.
I thought it was a pretty entertaining open match.
It was.
And then you get the promos there at the end. MJF, obviously we know what MJF can do.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Perry's getting better. You can tell he's and he admitted he was timid. He's not good at that. I like how that was.
When he started, he didn't talk.
Yeah, no,
Luchasaurus talked for him,
and I kind of like that. So I like they brought that up.
Yeah. By the way, though, I do want to mention, I told you I wanted to see Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Hook continue to not necessarily be a constant tag team, but I've always got your back style team. Yep. And we saw that tonight.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was well executed. I like that a lot.
Yes. Stop cueing the music when somebody's going to run in, though. That's getting a little bit of annoying.
Yeah. But the good stuff by both guys. I thought we would see a graphic for next week's Dynamite, which is in MJF's hometown of Long Island, New York. I thought we'd see him against Jack Perry next week, but I guess we're not going to. So I thought that's the direction they're going. Maybe each pillar gets an individual match with MJF, and they all four do a fatal four-way at Double or Nothing. Still, maybe that's still where they're going with it.
I think what you're seeing, and because I think we get a Rampage match with Takashina and Sammy.
Sammy, yep. Takashina and Sammy, yep.
I hate Takashina putting Sammy over. I'm not going to be a fan, but I think that'll happen. So I think they're going to build up over the next couple months those guys on a winning streak, and then do your fatal four-way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or take the three guys and do a three-way with the winner facing MJF at a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and it ends in a draw, time limit draw. That way, it's got to be all three of them. Nobody loses looking weak, but then it's all three of them.
Well, I like how they showed Darby and Sammy both watching the match backstage before MJF came out.
Was Sammy really watching the match?
I mean, maybe a little.
He was a little preoccupied.
Maybe a little.
I mean, what would you guys? As long as she doesn't talk, I'd be preoccupied. As soon as she talks, I'm out.
After all the mic work, we got the Blackpool Combat Club versus Dalton Castle and the Boys. Well, it's supposed to be against Dalton Castle and the Boys, but the Blackpool Combat Club knows how to get heat because they interrupted one of the better entrances in all of professional wrestling. And they just took out Dalton and the Boys, laid waste to him, ended up squashing them as Claudio hit a hit Tate. I believe Tate's the boy's name.
They're both last names Tate, right? They're twins.
So there Brandon Tate. Okay, Brandon Tate was the one he hit with a power bomb. There we go.
I don't know the other name. I just know they're both Tate.
Yeah, I don't know the other name either. So
Tate and Tate.
Backstage, then we're shown Adam Page is talking to Marvez, who earlier in the night went back to talk to Kenny and Don Callis, which Kenny thought Don was acting weird, and Don said he was going to go fix the situation with Hangman, and Kenny really didn't ask him to, and all that. Hangman saying that Matt Jackson's biceps partially torn, which is that's shoot, that's not a work.
Yep.
And Nick Jackson has injured shoulder. Not sure if that's shoot or not. He confirmed that the Blackpool Combat Club did it, except he screwed up and said the BBC instead of the BCC.
Well, you know those Brits, man.
Oh yeah, those Brits. They like to drink their tea over there.
Yes.
But Callis shows up. He apologizes. The Hangman offers to shake his hand, but then Blackpool Combat Club come out of nowhere and ambush Page, beat him up, and then Moxley drops Callis with a forearm, which busts him open. And Pro Wrestling Insider, I saw on Twitter, reported that was not supposed to happen. Callis, that was legit busted open. He hit his head when he was falling tonight.
Oh, wow. I honestly thought he bladed there for a second.
Well, because
that's why he kept his head there so long.
Mm-hmm.
It was a forearm shot, so it would have been right here. It wasn't a point. So
yeah.
If
he fell, and I think he hit it against the TV or the monitor or whatever was over there before he hit the ground, and that sliced him open. That's according to PW Insider. So
which is fine, because I thought if you bladed that hard on a forearm shot, it was a little much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tweeted from our account that Moxley couldn't bleed tonight, so he made somebody else bleed.
Yeah. Good point.
Then we saw Shivani. I really like this. I had not seen this done in pro wrestling in a long time, where Shivani catches up with Kenny Omega when he's in Gorilla, about ready to enter the arena, and tells him that Callis and Hangman have been attacked, and you can see Kenny was worried, but then Kenny's like, I got to worry about my match. I thought that was really neat. I hadn't seen that done before.
Yeah. Well, maybe not there. Normally it's a little further back in the backstage area.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of guys in Gorilla.
Right, Gorilla, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think what didn't they name AEW's Gorilla after Dusty? I forget what. Or at least when Cody was there, it was named after Dusty. I forget what they called it. But
you could clearly hear Jeff Cobb's music playing in the background.
Yes.
We then got Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. And Kenny Omega not coming out to Battle Cry, but instead to Devil's Sky tonight. I like that touch. Have him come out to that music when he's defending that title for New Japan. I like that.
Yeah,
so that was good.
Absolutely.
I saw people on Twitter complain about Robert's introduction of Kenny, but the short introduction worked better with the theme music tonight. So.
Oh yeah, if he would have gone with the full, minute and a half version, it wouldn't have worked, because he would have talked over a good portion of that intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good match, physical match. Jeff Cobb matches are always physical, and I like how they told the story. They showed highlights from Wrestle Kingdom and them calling each other out and everything. So they gave a backstory to it, just like they did last week with Vikingo. But in the end, Omega somehow was able to get Jeff Cobb up and hit the One-Wing Angel for the win.
Nobody kicks out of the One-Winged Angel. I'll pull it down, Callis.
I thought they did a great job with this match, and this was a typical, this reminded me back in the day of remember when Punk faced Warlord, and just Warlord dominated and Punk snuck out a win. Not to the extreme of this, but Jeff Cobb dominated majority of this match.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there were points that I went, all right, he's the new champ.
And so they played this very well. They played his size very well. Of course, Kenny played his injuries from last week's crazy match with I can't pronounce the guy's name. Vikingo. I was
Yeah.
calling Helio Viking for a while, but obviously
Dude's
after
incredible.
watching last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought it was I personally had it down as my match of the night. So
Kenny's on a hell of a singles run right now, and I was actually looking at shopaw.com this morning, and not only is the Elite merchandise selling really well, but Kenny Omega himself, all of a sudden, his T-shirts are starting to move really well too. So,
and I like that. I like that. After their trios run, they're going to separate them. Now, they're not saying they're not friends, they're not a faction, but
Right.
Once the Bucks come back from injury, obviously, hopefully, the way I see it is we have new tag team champions next week.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And then all of a sudden, the Bucks come back from injury, and now we have some Bucks FTR coming up. And we have the Bucks back in the tag team. Kenny's an individual, and we go on with life.
I think we'll get there after they finish this story, kind of, that I think everybody's going to be intertwined in, which got elevated after this match. Blackpool Combat Club surround the ring, but Bryan Danielson's music hits, which surprised me. I thought he'd be out of action for a lot longer than just a couple weeks. Makes his way out, tells Blackpool Combat Club members to get off the ring. So they back down. Danielson lifts Omega up, but then he turns on him and drops Omega with the running knee, and the rest of the group join in and attack Omega. And then Danielson put him in the label lock while the rest of the group fought off security and Brandon Cutler.
That's a psycho knee.
And Michael
Psycho, there we go.
Nakazawa.
So, yeah, heel turn for Danielson. Danielson back with his Blackpool Combat Club brethren. And
Hey, hold on.
that was great.
I'm going to stop here. Now, Paul knows this guy. Tanner, I think you went to school with this guy. But for some reason, and I know any of our listeners have no idea who the hell I'm talking about, but Michael Nakazawa reminds me of Ryan Johnson, our old AD. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I mean, when he got hit with the stupid microphone or the headset.
The headset's still on.
Why do I think of he's now, in my defense, this is my Calcutta golf partner, so I can make fun of him, right? But, we call the guy Crooked Johnson for whatever, his name's Ryan Johnson. We called him Crooked, but for some reason, why do I think he looks like Michael Nakazawa? I don't know. They remind me of the two.
Well, I could bring side-by-side images up of them, and we could see, but I won't do that to RJ tonight. Maybe next week. I won't do. I'll spare him that tonight. But
he's riding high. He won a semi.
He is.
He won a high.
Yep.
Ben Davis was one of the better teams in the country this year. So,
whatever. He's still my Calcutta partner, and he still need him to show up, but he looks like Michael Nakazawa.
I'm not going to be able to look at RJ the same now. But I thought this was a really good turn by Danielson. I thought this first hour of Dynamite tonight was fantastic. I liked how they had a continuous story the whole hour. It reminded me of the Attitude Era. I was watching not too long ago on Peacock, which is the worst streaming
so bad
platform ever.
Platform to navigate. But I watched Fully Loaded from '99. It was the main event of the end of the era, First Blood match with Undertaker and Stone Cold. And you had Sunday Night Heat leading into that, which Undertaker busts Stone Cold up. So Stone Cold right away in the pay-per-view finds Undertaker, busts him open. It was kind of a back and forth all night, like leading up to that main event. That's kind of what this reminded me of the first hour. Like Blackpool Combat Club just kept showing up and beating people up. I thought that was awesome.
It reminded me of the early days of the Shield.
Yeah.
How they would circle the ring like that. Or corner of the ring,
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, it's Moxley. What do you expect?
Yep.
Why do you keep throwing the pencil in the camera there, Paul?
Because you made me lose my train of thought now. Yeah. So is this going to be
Paul?
Totally lost the train of thought. We got 4-on-4. Are we going to see a good match or not?
I think this is leading to blood and guts.
There we go.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
I couldn't think of blood and guts to save my life.
Yep. Which usually
Clearly.
I think is 5-on-5, but I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
add a person to each side. So
I mean, you could add Cole into the elite side
could,
of
but I
things,
think he's going a different storyline after tonight.
Yep.
So
Yep.
but because you could, a lot of people on IWC think with Callis and Keshka that Keshka's going to turn heel and maybe feud against Kenny and the Elite, but we'll see. I don't know where the seeds are being
That'd be a
planted
good
for
one
that.
too.
But really good first hour Dynamite. I thought it was fantastic. In ring storytelling. I mean, for all those people that are complaining, and we have too on this podcast complain about the lack of storytelling. I think AEW's really cranked it up the last month. They're getting back to their roots. They're getting back to their roots.
They're getting better.
Kind of goes back to what we talked about last night.
Yeah, they're getting back to the Elite. I mean, they're getting back to the Elite storytelling, and they're starting to hit on all cylinders. And we'll ask Shep later his opinion on CM Punk. We can do that later.
Well, one thing
You just did.
I have my own opinion. But just look at the, and I know I'm a mark, whatever, but look at the FTR and the Ass Boys.
Yep.
So
Yes.
we knew they were going to have this match a week ago. So instead of having it this week, they had a little vignette, and we're just building it for next week. Like, it's little things like that makes the difference. So I know this is only a 2 or 3 week build. When they showed up, and maybe 4 week. We're gonna, So I feel like Tony has listened to.
Yep.
Not saying us, but listen to the fans and realize, like, hey, I got to build this. So this happened 3 weeks ago. I'm going to have a vignette, and then we're going to have the match.
Yep.
So I appreciate that.
And I mean,
I think he's getting better at it.
Regarding FTR and the Guns, you could say this goes back to when the Guns beat them.
Sure.
This story has been going on since then because the vignettes included that. Remember, they showed up dressed like FTR with their cardboard belts that, every backyard wrestler made.
Yeah.
So
and they did the funeral. They did the funeral segment too when FTR was on the break. So.
And they did that, and then FTR took a break for a month or two or whatever. So So I feel the storyline or the storytelling. Sorry, not storyline. Storytelling, Tony has worked harder on and given us some. And I think another evidence is this 4-pillar thing with MJF. So this thing started, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? Yep. And here we go. We're just slowly building. So
we got a good main event storyline. We got a really intriguing one with the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. We got one for the tag titles, and we got one going on in the women's division. So, kind of hitting all cylinders. One we don't really have ones for the international championship, but they're just kind of throwing people to OC.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I still think, I was an Orange Cassidy fan. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan. I'm not a fan. But watching him tonight, just his entrance when he has is it the Jayco backpack we all had in 8th grade or whatever, right? And he just pulls it open. And he has it. And I love that. I love that. And obviously he's the face when he's out there. But, anytime there was a young kid that's dressed like him, he goes and gives him the limp knuckle. And he makes sure he does that. When he first started, I hated him. Every week since then, he's made me a fan, and I thoroughly enjoy him now. What can I say?
He's growing on you.
When are we getting the jean jacket, Shep?
Dude, I hate denim. So, look.
All right, get the sunglasses and we'll call it even.
I might wear the Ray-Bans and the Aviators, okay? But it could be 10 below out on a Sunday afternoon and I got to go to Kroger. I'm not wearing jeans. I put a pair of shorts on. I hate denim. Denim is the devil, okay? So I know I'm not Orange Cassidy hates me already. And like when my wife wears like a jean jacket or whatever, and I make fun of her, and then I'm in the doghouse, whatever. But I hate
Just
denim.
call her
Denim,
pockets and move on.
denim is the devil. Denim is so uncomfortable. If anybody tells me a pair of jeans is more comfortable than a pair of Adidas golf shorts, then you need to have your head examined, and we need to have a drink and talk about it.
Get the dude some pants.
I'll say they're more comfortable than slacks. How about that?
Oh, no, I'd rather wear a pair of dress pants. Dress pants are so much thinner and more flexible than freaking denim. Come on.
They are thinner, I'll give you that, but
denim,
I just don't like the feel.
You will never see me in denim unless my wife makes me.
As I sit here in a pair of jeans.
Yeah. I got sweatpants, so
I'm in a pair of Adidas golf shorts, which I have like 47 pairs of. To me,
Tanner's still in his work attire. What are we talking about here?
They feel like, yeah, Tanner doesn't leave the house.
He left the house more during COVID quarantine than he did.
Shut up.
You talk about a rabbit hole. We're talking about a tire now. But I feel like these golf shorts feel like board shorts. I love board shorts. I live in board shorts in the summer. They're light. They make, come on. Denim needs to be retired. Sorry. Retired.
I don't.
On. Out. See ya.
I'll wear shorts at home and at the gym, but I don't wear them many other places. I'm just not a big shorts fan, and that's a self-conscious issue.
I ain't going to the gym, so I can wipe that shit out.
Back to Mr. Denim here against the Butcher. The Blade tries to interfere, then gets told he can't. Then he does interfere, and honestly, I thought for a second the Butcher was gonna pick up the upset win. They kind of got me there, but in the end, Trent and Chuck come down to even the odds, and Orange Cassidy finishes the Butcher off with an orange punch and then a beach break to retain.
The roly-poly Kentucky gentleman.
I still think they're gonna turn on Orange one of these days, or they're gonna cost them something. Something's there. Something with Trent's body language. Something's there.
Trent Beretta looks like $1 million.
He does something. He's breaking the rules. Of course, the BT Trent Beretta.
Yeah,
breaking the rules. I can't do the voice.
Oh
God!
Leave it to
he
the
does.
Bucks.
He does.
Yes,
he does.
And
he's
Kentucky
definitely
looks like a slob.
Kentucky gentleman. Trent needs to just break out and go into singles.
Turn heel.
Be a singles competitor.
Yep.
Go after the TNT title.
Yeah. No, I think he needs to turn on the Kentucky gentleman and throw him in a vat of duck fat and then go after Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I like it. Give him the pencil.
I'm all for it. There you go.
We then saw a video package of Juice Robinson claiming that his match against Action Andretti coming up on Rampage will be just like what he's going to do to Ricky Starks. So,
I think that match on, obviously, I think Juice is going to go over, but I think those two guys could put on a heck of a match.
Yeah, I think Juice will have a good one with Andretti, and then I think he's going to have a good one with Ricky too next week. So.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure Dark and Elevation will prove me wrong. Action's really only picked up any wins over Jericho in the Appreciation Society. He loses against everybody else.
Yeah.
He's been a little banged up too, so
I think he's going to be one of those talents that you're going to see in 2023. You're going to see him lose a lot. Okay, whether it's especially on television. Okay.
Yes.
And it's going to be close matches. And then hopefully they're gonna bring him up slowly, because obviously they put a lot of faith in him if they, put him over on Jericho. So
yeah,
let's just say he's gonna pay his dues for the next 8 to 10 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting. I think Jay White appears somewhere next week, whether it's on Raw the night after Mania. If not, maybe he shows up at Dynamite Wednesday night with, the Bullet Club juice. Even though he's not technically in Bullet Club, I guess, anymore. So,
Unfortunately, I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Is anybody
think you're
who's?
right.
I mean, I think everybody who ever was in the Bullet Club is still
Pretty
in
much.
The Bullet Club.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it is Bullet Club for life.
It is. It is. We then got, let's see here. I don't know where the Jade segment's not in my notes, but pretty much they're going to hit Taya Valkyrie with a lawsuit if she uses Jaded again on Friday night against Marina Shafir. So,
Yeah.
So we're going to go to
wasn't-
court before we go to the ring.
yeah.
I like this feud. For once, I like Jade in a feud like this. And I think this is the time they take the belt off of Jade. And then if she keeps her stuff together, they could promote her into the women's title picture. But I still think she needs a little polishing in the ring.
Yes.
Her against Hayter could be fun, though. That could be fun.
Good.
Jade's stupid athletic.
Yeah.
But we just got to get her. We got to make the pro wrestling and the athletic person marry each other, and then Jade can be amazing. Actually,
we then got our single women's match of the night: Ruby Soho versus Willow Nightingale. Former partners here. Ruby was accompanied to the ring by her Outcasts members, Toni Storm and Saraya, and they got involved in the match many different times. In the end, Ruby got the win by cheating because Toni Storm held Ruby's feet on the ropes to cheat. This was the one match my fiance saw a bit of, and she's familiar with Ruby Soho because she went with me to Dynamite in 2021. She said they don't have Ruby's entrance song with her anymore. I said no, they actually smartly got rid of it when she turned heel because they didn't want the crowd singing along with it.
Yeah.
So
she still has the runaway jacket though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So two things here. One, Saraya has officially been in more stables than I think any other female wrestler ever has in history.
Quite a few.
That's a good point.
Two, black and green. We've already seen this done.
Not
With
women's.
spray paint.
Not women's.
No, I know, but we already have one company that's rerunning somebody's best hits. We don't need to do it in AEW too.
I would have never put that together with D Generation X, but I get what you're saying.
So I get what Paul's saying. Make it yellow, right? Make it red and yellow, or I'm trying to think. I guess green and black are the offensive colors, right?
Sure.
And I might get a lot of shit for this, but make it pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because it's women. Make it pink. Make it.
Right.
I know you want a highlighter color, okay?
Right.
But like Paul said, green's already been done.
It's true.
Make it pink.
After the match, Outcasts grab a chair around Willow's ankle, but Rio and Sky Blue, like they do every week, make the save, but they're outnumbered. But then Jamie Hayter comes down and cleans the ring out and hits a hate breaker. I didn't know that's what it was called to Ruby while the others ran away. And then Rio and Hayter shook hands, and then Rio does the weirdest bell around the waist gesture I've ever seen while she's smiling. And it's just like, you can't be intimidated by her. It just makes me laugh. But that'll be a fun match next week. It'll be a good match in the ring.
You can't be intimidated when my golden retriever weighs more than her.
I know.
Yeah, Rio out there looking like a schoolgirl trying to be intimidating does not intimidate me at all.
But if Hayter would have connected on that clothesline to Toni Storm, Toni Storm's head might have fell off her body Holy cow, did she have some momentum?
Yeah,
on that.
she had a lot of momentum.
So good thing it wasn't a botch and she didn't connect.
Oof.
That could have been nasty.
But you go back, Tony Storm's left thigh is bigger than Riho.
It's true. No, you're not lying.
You're not wrong.
Hey, and I'm not body shaming. I'm just
No, we're not. We're not.
No, no, not at all.
I mean, she can go in the ring,
she's
but
very,
she's
very
just tiny. She's tiny.
And I think Tony Storm is A-OK.
I think everybody on this podcast will agree with you, and the majority of the IWC will agree with you there. So, we then got the card for Rampage and next week's Dynamite. Both cards look really good. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they look pretty strong.
I think next week's Dynamite is pay-per-view-ish.
Yeah. Well, he knows it's a big week. A lot of people tune into wrestling right after WrestleMania. So,
and it's MJF Day.
Yeah.
Because we're in
Long Island, so he's gonna get the huge baby face type pop. So we then got the main event, which was the in-ring return of Adam Cole, Bebe, after 9 months against Daniel Garcia. This was a fun match, but I was a little nervous to watching it. It reminded me of when Danielson first came back after concussions. I was a little nervous to watch it, but
yes.
Am I in the lower percentile saying that Cole had some ring rust?
Oh, he definitely had ring rust.
Oh, he had, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely had ring rust, but
he tried to hide it, and it showed through.
Well, I think it was Excalibur even kind of hinted at it a little bit, so which is expected. I mean, I don't care how many reps and
9 months
practice you go through until you get in the ring on TV. It's a little different, but he ended up getting the win. He had a Panama Sunrise, and then he hit the. He took the pad down and hit the boom. So that was fun. And after the match, Britt Baker made her way down the ring. Two of them shared a hug and a kiss, and confetti shot out. I'm like, all right, I understand. It's leading into All Access, which I made sure to record tonight.
I did too.
But I'm like, okay, I understand. Like Warner Discovery really wanted them to do this. This is why the main event. The logo's probably gonna be on the ring for the next 6 weeks or so. But I'm like, all right, the confetti was a little over the top. And then Jericho's music hits. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. He comes out, he grabs Garcia. They're walking up the ramp. I'm like, okay, he's gonna turn on Garcia, isn't he? He's gonna turn, and then he just keeps like turning back to Cole, but doing nothing, and then walks to the back, and the show ends.
I thought Cole was going to propose.
I thought that's where we were going.
I didn't even think about that, but that would have made sense.
I thought Cole was going to propose.
That would have made sense.
The confetti would have made sense then.
Yeah.
So we're obviously getting Cole and Jericho. I like that for Double or Nothing. If they're going to go clear to Double or Nothing with that. I like that.
Yeah. Give Jericho one last match with the young guy.
Yeah, and give Cole a big match. Because, man, that pop was huge tonight. That guy, push him as a babyface for a while.
Yes.
He can go as long as he can stay healthy. So, yeah. No, I thought it was a really fun Dynamite tonight. I really enjoyed it. What do you guys think of the ring ropes, by the way, with the new look?
So last
red,
week,
white, and blue.
So last week I was in the air.
Yes.
Flying home from Sin City. I committed no sins.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what stays in Vegas or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So
that's
you
right.
can't tell us anyway.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting on Dax to send me a Venmo to pay for them tequila shots. But anyways, I watched some tidbits right on Twitter, and then tonight watching it with the pink ring skirt, man. And I know they were advertising All Access, but I didn't like it.
It's just different. It reminds me a lot of the Great American Bash. It's going to take a little while to get used to. It's just so different than what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the ring skirt. Okay, if you want to advertise that, because I think the ring mat was actually advertised as
it was All Access tonight. Yeah, in the middle.
Okay, which was black and gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
So keep the ring ropes black.
Yeah,
Or it's not ropes; it's cords.
Yeah, they use the heavy ones.
They use the cords, yeah. But
yeah,
that was weird looking.
It's just a different look, with the rebranded, the new Dynamite style now. So I don't know, different. But what do you guys rate tonight's show?
Shoot, Paul. I got mine wrote down.
Of course you do. 7-7.
Ooh,
that's lower than I thought you would be tonight.
There was still some.
I'm actually higher than Paul.
Yeah. There's just I'm still a little nitpicky. I think that might be changing soon, but there's still some things I'm a little nitpicky on. But yeah, it's getting higher. Well, I'll say that much.
I was 7.9.
Okay, so you're not much higher than me. You didn't break the 8.
For once, I'm higher than Paul. I don't think that's happened a lot.
I'm 8.8.
Ooh.
I loved that. The first hour I thought was the best hour they've put on in a long time. Second hour, there's a few things that kept it out of the 9s for me, but
that second hour is what brought it down for me.
I'm all about, in my pro wrestling, I like good stories, and they're starting to get some good stories, and it's really hook, line, and sinker me lately. So,
yes,
you're also a Yankees fan, so I mean,
unfortunately,
and a Broncos fan.
Unfortunately, all behind me right there.
Yeah.
I need to change that background up. Wrestler of the night.
Oh yeah, Shep, you go first.
Jeff Cobb.
All
Thoroughly impressed, thoroughly entertained by that dude tonight. I want to see more of him.
I could go the easy route and go Adam Cole.
Baby.
But no, I'm going to go Bryan Danielson for the heel turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I could have went Adam Cole as well, but I am still going to kind of do an easy route. I'm going with Kenny Omega. I think the dude's the best wrestler on the planet. I do. He's so good when he's healthy. He's good when he's not healthy. He proved that in 2021 when he had vertigo and all types of stuff going on. So
yeah.
Kenny
could be one of those that could be wrestler of the night anytime he has.
I know. He's just
so.
If I'm Tony's got to pay him whatever he wants. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega. Can't do it.
All right.
So,
we ready to get into our predictions now that we're an hour and a half deep into this thing?
Yep.
I don't know what's going on over at Shep's.
Well, it was a little staticky on my end when you were talking, and then Shep falls off. So I don't know. What happened here. And now Paul's having a coughing attack. we are just wrapping up the show beautifully here.
Yes, we are. I started laughing, and then it causes coughing. Sinuses. That's fun.
Did he drop his computer? Or what?
I think so. That I'm really tired, so bear with me. I'm gonna laugh
good.
more than I
You're
should.
good. No, you're good.
But yeah, there was the thud.
Should we make sure he's okay?
Or did he fall down one of his own rabbit holes?
So I'm a little worried. Did he fall? The computer just go out or something? Did he pass out? Well.
Do we want to talk about the matches that are coming up Friday night at SuperCard of Honor while we're waiting on Shep? We won't make any predictions yet.
No, we'll wait on them, but we can go down the card a little bit. There he is.
I'm back.
Hey.
We thought you might have fell. We didn't know what happened.
No. My dog didn't puke like Tanner's dog did.
Lucky you.
We had to move some rooms around for the dog. That's fine.
Oh, lucky you.
We're good.
There was the thud, and it concerned us.
Yeah. We were a little. Then Paul started coughing. It was just a whole ordeal. It was an episode that only KOP could do. I tried to.
That's right.
Try to close the show, but now that Shep's back, we can get to our ROH SuperCard of honor predictions.
Hey, that thing's gonna look really good right here.
Probably, because I am not feeling good about this at all.
I haven't even ordered Honor Club yet, so I'm way behind. So
You might want to do that.
I haven't ordered it, but I've watched a bunch of social media, some YouTube.
I kind of done the same. So I've
Yeah.
kind of keeping up with the storylines, but
and I don't know, like the last match that you tweeted or you texted us about right before the show ended. I have some thoughts on that one. I have some.
All right.
Yeah, so it actually fit in really well with already my other predictions. So let's get into it.
let's do it. Let's start off with you. Want to narrate? Or you want to MC this, Paul, or do you want me to?
No, it's all you.
Okay.
I had to say Vikingo last week. You get to do it this week.
Yeah, you're true. Oh, let's start with the Jay Briscoe Memorial Reach for the Sky ladder match, which it was announced today that the ROH tag titles are going to have a new look. They are retiring the old design for good, which I think is a great way to honor Jay's memory.
Yep.
In this match is the Lucha Bros, the Kingdom, Top Flight, Roosh, and Dralistico, and Aussie Open. Who do you guys got, and for how many points?
Go for it, Paul.
I went to Lucha Bros, but I have no confidence in this, so it's got 1 point.
Okay.
I have the Kingdom for 2 points.
Lucha Bros, Paul 1, Kingdom 2. I'm writing them down, so.
Yeah, so you don't have to go back and listen to the podcast.
Well, I got low points on this one as well, but I have yet another team. I have Top Flight for 1.
All right.
So
Wow. Well, hey, at least it's not going to come down to the women's match again that I always get.
That's true.
Well,
Never say never.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, this should be a great ladder match. I can see any of those teams winning. I mean, that's the thing with the Lucha Bros. They got a really good relationship with Mark Briscoe. Kingdom's an ROH staple, and Top Flight looks like they're going to get a push, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I could see any of those teams winning. Then we got the Trios Championship, the NBC versus Blake Christian, Metallic, and AR Fox for the 6-man Trios Championships. Interesting that Brian Cage is still in this match.
Yeah.
I don't know his contract status anymore, so.
Yeah.
I got Embassy for 6.
I got Embassy for 2.
I got AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metallic for 8.
Wow. Wow.
Whoa.
Because
Somebody's confident.
I think Brian Cage is on his way out of the company, and they're getting a title off of him.
I don't see them putting the title on Blake Christian and Metalik because they're not signed. You know, Blake Christian's a guy that's been in GCW forever, ever since he left NXT. So, don't get me wrong, I think those guys are great.
Sure.
And they're going to put on an entertaining match, but I just feel like that's a random trios to put the belts on. Yeah, that's random.
Yeah,
but,
it could be a big swing and a miss for me, but
I love that you put 8 on them. I mean,
I'm thinking Tony maybe comes out after the pay-per-view and announces that a bunch of talent signed. I don't know.
I mean, you
He had to go straight to the bottle for that one.
And Shep, how many points did you have on that again?
I had Embassy for 6.
6. And Paul?
2 for Embassy.
2. I had those switched around. That's why I asked. Okay.
Oh, well, I'm glad because I have a 6-pointer coming up.
Well, let's go with the AAA Mega Championship. El Hilo del Vikingo versus Commander. Jeez. Commander. Who you guys got in this one?
Vikingo.
I had Vikingo for 5.
Mine was for 3.
I have Vikingo for 5 as well.
He goes the whole, L, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's Vikingo.
I try.
I'm
I
not.
fail.
I'm not going to try the other stuff. It's just
I
Fandango.
try, but I
If I
fail.
try,
Yeah.
I'm going to fail.
I don't see them taking the title off of him. I mean, it's whatever AAA wants to do, but it's going to be a fun match. I can tell you that much.
Yep.
What else is on here? How about the which is next? The ROH TV Championship. Mark Briscoe versus Samoa Joe.
I got Mark for 6.
I got Samoa Joe for 3.
Ooh. I got Mark Briscoe for 7.
All right. It's not going to come down to the women's match. It's going to come down to the TV title.
I'm the only one going against Briscoe. And here's the only reason why. I'll explain this. And don't get me wrong, I love Mark Briscoe. I think he is so entertaining in his vignettes, his promos.
Oh, that interview with RJ City was freaking hilarious.
Oh my God.
The other day.
It was great. It was $1 million. But Mark Briscoe understands the business.
He does.
And there's a point in time where, and I don't want to sound insensitive, but there's a point in time where we stop the gifts. And I'm trying not to be insensitive here.
Right.
We got to get back to normal. And so, don't get me wrong, I think this is going to be a banger of a match. I think there's going to be 7-8 false finishes in this match. I think Samoa Joe comes out.
78. Jeez, that's a lot.
I really do. I think there's going to be 2 or 3. You think Samoa Joe's going to win? I think there's going to be 3 or 4 on top of that you think Mark's going to win. He's going to hit the funky chicken, whatever, and like I said, I still think Samoa Joe comes out here. That's why I put 3 on it.
Yeah, I'm swinging heavy on a couple. I'm either going to win in a landslide or I'm going down in flames. So,
I'm kind of the same way.
I'm hoping TK goes with emotional victory here for Mark, but I could definitely see Joe retaining. I could see going either way, but I'm like, throw 7 on it. Why not? For the ROH Pure Championship, Wheeler Yuta defended against Katsuri Shibata. I don't know how to say his first name. Shibata.
Bless you. Gesundheit.
Shibata. There we go.
Shibata.
I've got Yuta for 5.
I got Yuta for 4.
I got Yuta for 3.
And I'll give my strategy, Tanner. I kind of told you this last night after we wrapped the Is Punk Worth It podcast. But Yuta, in that match, Yuta's the only one who signed to ROH. You're not going to give a title like the Pure Championship to somebody who isn't signed to ROH. Now, again, ROH will be on Thursday night, and that could all change. But as of this recording, Yuta is the only ROH person in that match, so I'm going with Yuta.
Yeah, there'll probably be more matches added after tomorrow night's show, but since we record this, we're just doing 8. So, the women's title, Athena versus Emi Sakura.
I got Athena for 7.
Paul?
I got Athena for 4.
I got Athena for 6.
Yes.
So we're all in agreement.
The women's match is not going to cost me this time.
No, it's the TV title. It's going to cost somebody.
Yeah.
Which matches am I? The heck am I?
7 and 8.
Yeah.
Claudio and Garcia's matches.
Oh, Garcia's is the one. Yep. So one that just got added tonight after Dynamite is Daniel Garcia versus Tanahashi.
Which, if you saw Tanahashi's Twitter today, I go to America. I loved it. The picture of him in the plane says, I go to America.
Gold.
Fucking awesome.
Gold.
I got Tanahashi for 8. I didn't change my picks. I just added him. Tanahashi for 8.
I got Tanahashi for 7.
And I got Tanahashi for 4. So.
Okay. Tanner changed his picks around a lot.
A little bit. Yeah. A couple. I I just had no idea. I'm like, why would Garcia? You could tell they think a lot of him because he main events more Dynamites than anybody. He doesn't always win, but he main events more, and then he gets a high caliber match like this. So
Yep.
all right. Lastly, for the ROH World Championship, Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli.
I got Kingston for 1.
I got Claudio for 8. Okay, to be fair, Claudio originally had 7.
I got Eddie Kingston for 2.
Wow,
I
so
think
there's a couple matches that could really make or break this for us.
I think Claudio is being featured so much with the Blackpool storyline that they just get him back on Dynamite full time.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, then you got to have you to drop a belt too.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but
I don't think Yuta drops a belt to a guy. Now, Shibata, I think they put on a banger of a match, but I don't think Shibata's going to hang around for a while. So,
right.
Yeah, I think Claudio is going to be featured on Dynamite and Rampage. So you got to get him off ROH. This is the way to do
You
it.
put it on somebody like Kingston. Again, I have no problem with Eddie.
I think you put it on Kingston because the guy can just absolutely spit the truth. And your weekly television show is pay-per-view, technically, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he can say whatever the heck he wants.
And he's due. He's due for a run with the big title. I mean,
He is. You know, he looks.
Hey.
And let's be honest. He looks like shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
He looks like shit. But he can work in the ring. He can brawl, and he can talk.
Yep.
And he has a lot of people eating out of the palm of his hands because he's real. He is one of the few guys that breaks down the curtain, and he is the same person backstage as he is with the fans, which there's not a lot of people that can do that.
Right.
And he lives his gimmick. He lives his character. He is Ric Flair. He is Richard Flair, who is Ric Flair. Eddie Kingston, I don't know what the hell his real name is, but Eddie Kingston is Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Let's Google it, shall we? Why we're going down the rabbit hole?
I hope his name is Ed Smith.
Edward Moore.
Edward Moore. There you go.
41 years old. I thought he was older than that, to be honest.
So did I.
You know, at 41 years old, it's time for him to make a run. So,
Yep.
And again, I'm not going to be upset if Kingston wins. That's not what I'm saying here. I just, with his and Tony's beef, whether it's a shoot or a work, it's kind of why I went with Claudio.
Well, it'll be interesting. We know we'll see some debuts, I'm sure, Friday night, and some new guys signed. So it'll be interesting who those guys turn out to be. And it's just, we talk about it all the time. It's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan, and this week highlights it. There's so much good wrestling going on this weekend.
Go home shows, Dynamite.
Tanahashi's coming over working for indie shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ibushi's, I mean, he's what, wrestling GCW this weekend?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think
awesome.
Is it Speedball Bailey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which that guy's
nuts.
Yes, he is. So, I guess my last thought is I'm a Cody fan, of course. So I'm wearing a Cody shirt because it's Cody week this week. Does he finish the story Sunday night? Does he beat Roman, or do they swerve everybody? And does Roman keep going?
You first, Paul.
You know, the mark in me wants to go Cody wins this thing. I've seen custom Cody titles already, so I still kind of want to lean yes, but at the same time, I think we're going to see this story draw out a little more. I don't think the feud ends at Mania. I think it'll continue.
So I'm all in for Cody, right? And I think the way they've incorporated his dad into the promos the last 30, 45 days.
Hey, his mom sounds scary.
Yeah, I won't piss her off. But even if you noticed, was it last week? It could have been after Raw, could have been after SmackDown. I can't remember, but Dustin quoted his tweet and said, "Finish the story, brother. I'm with you."
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cody's going over, and I think he'll get a good pop. Now, I've watched a little WWE in the last week or so, and I am completely surprised at the pop that Sami Zayn's getting. Like, big pop.
Mm-hmm.
That was the pop he was getting before he became part of the Bloodline storyline.
So Sami Zayn, when him and KO came out and
fought off the Usos at the end.
Fought off the Usos, that pop was like shockingly big. And I'm like, I don't want it to take away from Cody, but
that's why I think they stayed the course and they put Sammy and KO together, because they could have reversed. I mean, because Sammy went against Roman at Elimination Chamber, they could have went a different direction. But
yeah, they could have. And I love the storytelling. I love the legacy of Cody. Finishing the story, because his dad never got the big belt. His dad was, the NWA champion, but never held the big belt.
Yep.
So I love the story they're telling. I really do. And whether you think Vince is involved nowadays or not, I don't know. But this particular story that I don't follow much other than this story.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. I really do.
I'm right there with you, Shep. I mean, it's the one thing I tune in on Mondays and even sometimes on Fridays just to watch what Cody's doing and the Bloodline storyline with him. And I do think he finishes the story. I think before he got hurt, in my opinion, the initial plan probably was for him and Roman to face at SummerSlam last year, for Roman to win, Cody build himself back up, win at Rumble, go to Mania and win it. Of course, they had a pivot. So I think they got to strike the iron while it's hot. I don't know if he gets any hotter than he is right now. And you just take it, and then you can have a rematch at SummerSlam, because then Roman can take some time off. So,
yeah.
Much deserved time off, really.
Like I said,
when you say much deserved, I mean, the guy's a part-timer. Right?
He's becoming a part-timer, I guess, much deserved from carrying the company, having the championship for 1,000 days. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because I think if they're smart, if Cody does win, they split the titles back to one for each show or two. I don't like a guy wearing two titles. I don't know. It's just...
Or just unify them and give us one.
Yeah.
I see you unify them, give us one. Knowing Cody, he'll work both shows for a year.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like he wants to go on a big, work as much as I can, do house shows, and he's coming up in my neck of the woods next month. I might have to just get tickets just to see that. So.
April 22nd, right?
Yeah. I'm really considering pulling the trigger because they're cheap. So.
And if you have been following the house storylines, Cody and the Good Brothers are doing pretty well as a trios.
Yep.
On the house shows?
Bullet Club for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an odd pairing.
Bullet Club.
Yep. They even threw up the sign.
They're still trying to work this Bullet Club angle in WWE.
It didn't work with Finn. It's so hard for me to think Cody was in the Bullet Club.
I know, but that was great stuff.
I know, right?
It was. No.
That's where we got
it's still weird fit. Still weird fit.
Yeah.
Bullet Club Cody's where we got #FTR.
Well, that was back when Cody was in the suit smoking cigars, right?
And he had black hair.
Black hair,
yeah. All right.
Yep. When he was the Nightmare Cody, he didn't have the last name.
Really, really good.
Yes.
So it's getting back to where I don't have to fast forward a majority of the show. So
just that Hollywood portion.
You got the Good Brothers and Cody. what happens when Jay White shows up.
I know. He could be Cody's first, assuming Cody wins, he could be Cody's first challenger. Even though if I had the pencil, which I'll take a pen, here's what, assuming the guy's healthy, I have Randy Orton come back as a heel. He goes against Cody because then you got the legacy storyline from back in the day. You can Orton's great heel.
He could never step out of Orton's shadow.
Because Orton was red hot too as a face before he got hurt. So.
Yep.
Orton's healthy. He's due to come back.
Yeah.
So
and I've seen stuff that him and bro
Riddle.
Thank you. Are getting pretty close to coming back and might do something with Cody. So
you got to turn one against the other. I think whether it's Riddle turn against Orton or Orton turn against Riddle. That way you get fresh stuff there. So
RK Bro is very entertaining, but I'm over Bro. So
I have been for a while too. So.
But I mean, boy, Randy Orton and Cody could be.
I think that'd be a fun
epic
program.
They could do great.
Yep.
And then Cody and Jay White could. If you would have said this 2-3 years ago, I'll put $100 down that Cody versus Jay White would happen in the WWE.
No.
What kind of odd? You guys would have said I'll be plus 200, plus 500.
Oh God, yeah.
Yep.
Especially with Cody's EVP status, helping start up the company and everything. No way.
We're gonna get Cody versus Jay White on Raw.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That could happen now. Yep.
Well,
We'll see. All right, Paul, wrap us up for I think our longest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, before we hit that 2-hour mark and I fall asleep or, something like that. 3:30 comes early, boys. All right. Be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all forms of social media at Kicking Out Pod. Check out kickingOutshop.com. You've got a little bit of time left to use that promo code. Once we officially get to April 1, you no longer have it. So hurry up and buy some stuff from kickingOutshop.com. Promo code March23 gets you free shipping. But again, you only have to the end of March for that. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And like the shirt says, if it's Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star review because we are 5-star KOP. And for at Paul Zartman 921. For Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.